Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another Star Wars video. Today we're tackling the last two episodes of the new Star Wars show, Ahsoka. Again, if you have not seen episodes 1 through 6, or in this case 1 through 8, the entire season of this show, because again, this will be a spoiler review. I kind of waited a few days. If you really wanted to watch it, it's on Disney Plus. Go ahead, it's on eCrater. You know, buy the Blu-ray, whatever you want to do. But anyway, here we go. This is it. So it's been a pretty crazy ride, I gotta say, to get to this part. Because remember, Ahsoka Tano was essentially introduced. Oh yeah, by the way, leave a like, subscribe, you know, good stuff. Ahsoka Tano was basically introduced in the 2008 Clone Wars animated film. And then everyone hated her. I didn't, but of course, Star Wars fans, all they do is hate, right? That's like the normal thing. So they hated and they freaked out for like 8 years. And then finally the Clone Wars show happened, and then, you know, she got more progression and all that. And I'm not going to say Ahsoka's like the best character ever made, but she's up there. In terms of Star Wars, she is one of the best characters ever written in Star Wars. And yeah, she's in the Clone Wars show, the Clone Wars movie, the Rebels show. All of that's animated. All of that's really freaking good. And then you finally make your way to the end of the live-action Ahsoka show. Now, this one is, again, a direct sequel to Rebels and all that. So, again, like I said, you kind of do have to watch those to understand these. So, my dad and I were watching, and my mom kind of zipped in and out of the room. She was like, this is cool, Star Wars. And I was like, you know, Dad's like, the blue guy. I'm like, Thrawn. And then the green girl and O'Hara. Yeah, who's that kid? Oh, yeah, Hera's son. Who did she have a kid with? Oh, Kanan Jarrus. Who's Kanan Jarrus? Oh, he died in the animated. It's a freaking nuthouse, man. It's a shit show in here. But other than that, you know, when I'm not just pausing every 5 seconds, I was able to watch these two episodes, man. And this season so far has been nothing short of outstanding, essentially. My favorite Star Wars live-action show was still Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I think this might be a little bit of a second place, I'd have to say. Now, Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated show, is my favorite Star Wars show just in general. But this is really close, man. This feels like a continuation of Rebels without Zeb for some reason, even though he was in Mando Season 3, I don't know. But maybe the CGI wasn't there, who knows. But Season 7 really picks, or excuse me, Episode 7 really picks up with Thrawn kind of, again, from the end of Rebels. This was like his main prerogative, right? This is like his main mission. Same with Ezra. This is his main stuff to get home. And Episode 7 really starts out with Ahsoka really trying and training to kind of figure out what they're going to do to not only get Thrawn, or, you know, keep Thrawn from getting back home, but also to just exactly, you know, get home themselves and get Ezra home safe and just kind of prevent the galaxy from basically World War III in Star Wars edition. And this time, basically, it starts with live action Anakin, of course, in like a hollow projector form, you know, kind of like a training flashback. Not a flashback, but it's like an older projection of Anakin from the Clone War era, and it's just cool. You know what I mean? We've seen Hayden so many times. We've heard him in Episode 9. We saw him in Obi-Wan Kenobi. We saw him in this. And Hayden, this is, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, this show is proof that Hayden Christensen is not a bad actor. He might not have been that good in the prequels, if that was correct grammar. He wasn't the best, all right? Let's just put it that way. He wasn't the best. That wasn't because he's a horrible actor. He's really freaking good in Obi-Wan. He's really, really, really good in this show. Why? Because he has good writing. And I know George Lucas created Star Wars and whatever, but I don't care. He's a horrible writer and a pretty director. I don't think he's a good writer at all. I think anyone, including myself, probably even my dog, Tanner, could do better. I'm not trashing on the prequels. In fact, I'm kind of joking. I love the prequel trilogy. But at the same time, you know, I will admit the prequel has some writing flaws. And this show really doesn't, in terms of Anakin at least. That's why, like, I'm watching this, especially the you know, Clone Wars flashback episode. But even this, when he's talking to Ahsoka in that form, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, this is like good effing, like he's saying General Grievous and whatever, but like, it's good stuff, you know what I mean? It feels like it fits, and it's not weird. He makes a little joke about how you gotta keep up with training, at least more than me, you know, and like that, and it's funny. Like, I kind of chuckled a bit, like, he gave that emotion, and I was like, wow, look at that, you know, good writing, wow, you know. But other than that, you know, it's really just a matter of cat and mouse regarding keeping Thrawn there. There's a bit of a scene where Kazuda Xiono, excuse me, not, well, so, okay, Kaz's dad, Hanada, whatever, the Asian dude in the show, basically. There's an animated show called Star Wars Resistance. It's very good. There's one woke thing, but it's very good. It has 2 seasons. Very much worth your time. Not a kid show, not a baby show, not for toddlers. It's good, all right? I know it looks like a toddler show, but it's not. I've watched it. I own it. It's very, very good. It adds to the sequels in a lot of really cool ways. And Kaz is the main character, right? And we see Kaz's dad in that show, except he's much older. We see him the exact same guy in live action this show, a little younger. C-3PO pops in. This guy's kind of an asshat, and then Mon Mothma's like, hey, Hera, is the threat real? Like Modern Warfare 2019. And Hera, like Captain Price, is like, yeah, the threat's real. Like he does in Modern Warfare, you know. But yeah, at the same time, there is this threat happening, and Hera's trying to kind of, you know, convince the council and basically Xiono that, hey, shit's about to get real, and you better evacuate, like, pronto, because this dude's going to come back, and this guy's basically Space Hitler baby version. Palpatine, and then Thrawn, essentially, in terms of threat level, at this point in the canon. So, you know, they're trying to do that, and then, of course, we get more bonding time with Sabine Wren and Ezra Bridger. I almost said Ezra Miller. That would have been weird. But yeah, he's back, and that's really cool. And again, he just looks like Jesus now, but whatever. I think it's a good actor. Like, there's some really good moments, really great fight scenes in this episode, too, between Shin and Baylan and all that. Really good stuff there. And yeah, I mean, it's a great episode. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Again, the last episode had that boredom where like the little turtle guys was like, all right, this is a bit too much. This one felt right to the chase, right? The threat is real, and Thrawn's trying to escape and all that, and Morgan Elsbeth is there and all that, and you see the Dathomir witches and whatever. It's really good stuff. And then the end of the episode kind of ends with, you know, a bit of a cliffhanger, and that leads us to the finale of this season. Basically, this is where stuff really gets real. And you see the Night Sisters kind of anoint, I guess, Morgan Elsbeth, and she kind of becomes like a real Dathomir witch and all that. She's got the cool, badass-looking sword thing. She's all ready to go. Thrawn is just kind of, he doesn't really do a whole lot. He just kind of like stands there. He kind of obviously gets away in the end, goes to Dathomir. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I'm just going to, like, he doesn't fight, really. He doesn't shoot a blaster. He doesn't do nothing. He just kind of is like, I need everyone to do it. That's all he does. I mean, that's what he did in the animated show, too. Is I'm not trying to say it's like a bad characterization. But he don't do much. You know, what do you want to do? But at the same time, with this one, we get a lot of action, of course, with Sabine and Ezra kind of teaming up and fighting. Ahsoka's fighting with them, which is really cool. Baylan and Shin Hati, they don't really do anything. In fact, I don't think they say a word the entire episode. They really just show up. Baylan is with the Mortis gods and all that, like the son, the father, the daughter's not there, but the father and the son are there, like the statues of Mortis, which is a really good Clone Wars connection. You get Shin Hati just kind of igniting her orangish lightsaber to like the mercenary guys there with or whatever. And that's about it. Of course, sadly, Ray Stevenson did pass away recently, so they are not going to the real-life guy. You know, so I don't know what they're going to have to do for Baylan, if they're going to do AI or CGI or recast. I know when Black Panther died, they're like, no, we can't recast! But then, you know, of course, him and William Hurt died, and they're like, Harrison Ford, some other white guy. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But at the same time, if they do end up recasting, which, bit of a double standard there, I do think that, you know, it should be someone that looks like him. I don't know. I mean, Clancy Brown was already in, he was already in a show. I think, was that Ahsoka? I think it was, actually, yeah. But yeah, I think at the same time, I don't know where they're going to go from that, but they don't really do a whole lot in this episode. It's really about Ahsoka, Sabine, and you know, Ezra. And then we get some really cool stuff with the Dathomirian witches. We get a really awesome fight. One of the best choreographed fights, I'd have to say, in all of Star Wars, like, hands, like, period. Like, the sequels are my favorite fights, but, you know, because this is more of a prequel-esque, a little, I mean, it takes place after the original trilogy, but, you know, Ahsoka was trained during the prequel era where they were in the Coruscant Temple. They were training like how they would train for the prequels, right? So that's why the choreography had to be crazy. The reason why the originals and the sequels aren't crazy, weird video game choreography is because in the canon, they didn't go to the temple to train like that. The reason why Rey's swinging like this half the time is just because she didn't get any proper training the way Yoda or Ahsoka would have. So that's not bad choreography in the sequels, that's just timeline consistency. Again, gotta think. But in this one, Ahsoka did go through with that, so that's why she's having this awesome badass fight with Morgan. Really good stuff there, really good fight scene. Of course, Morgan does die. Really, really great stuff there, really good action. And then we get something I never thought we were going to see in Star Wars, at least for not a while here, is zombie stormtroopers, right? So Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra, they're kind of murdering all these stormtroopers to kind of get to Thrawn to prevent him from escaping back to, the normal galaxy. And then from there you get the crazy stuff with the stormtroopers, and they all die, of course, and then the Dathomirian witches and all that, they kind of do this crazy, some crazy, they didn't do that, some crazy chant, and the stormtroopers all kind of rise up, and I think that there might have been a story like that in Legends, but I don't think there's ever been like zombie stormtroopers in canon. I don't think. I like to think I know a lot about the canon, but for this instance, I don't think. I could be wrong, but they do end up showing up, and of course they're all getting attacked. And then they just kind of rise up, and it's really, really funny to go on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now. It's really funny to watch people bitch about this because they go in the comments of Twitter, I was going to say Twitter, and they're like, oh my god, Disney sucks, man, the stormtroopers are, what are they, all old people? And they all freak out. It's like, you didn't even watch the effing episode when you... Twitter's just full of death. It's death and AIDS combined. It's just not good, alright? You don't want to... I don't even know why I have it. Don't go on it, alright? It's a shitty website. But it's really funny to see people having a field day. And they're like, oh my god! It's like, dude, watch the content and think about it, for God's sake. It's a freaking pet peeve, I swear to God. But anyway, without me blowing a gasket here, I do think that it's really funny to see that happening. But it's also really interesting because we haven't seen that before, and it's really cool. They're literally hobbling along, and one of them gets like lightsaber to the head, kind of like Kylo did to that Praetorian Guard in The Last Jedi, and you see like the one's like mouth is like it's literally a zombie, like it's like a decaying body. And of course the new guys aren't because they just died. But I think that's a really cool concept. And then of course it ends with of course Morgan's death. They get away. And this season really kind of ends on a cliffhanger, right? Balin and Shin are just they're just there, I guess. Ahsoka and Sabine are kind of trapped in this galaxy still, I guess. Ezra makes it home and reunites with Hera and all that, and presumably Zeb, wherever the hell he is, probably in that bar on wherever planet he was. And then basically Thrawn gets away. And he ends up going to, Alright guys, so sorry about that. My camera decided to die again halfway. Maybe it's Palpatine sucking out the battery with his... I don't know. But, yeah, anyway. Yeah, so basically what I was trying to say before my thing exploded, I should clarify. My, camera exploded. Is that basically, Grand Admiral Thrawn got away. He's on Dathomir now. And, the very end of the show kind of, or I guess season kind of wraps up with Ahsoka, Ahsoka and Sabine kind of, Sabine's kind of like, oh, I feel something in the Force, and Ahsoka's like, it's probably nothing. And then she sees something, and then it turns out to be Force Ghost Anakin. Anakin Skywalker, man, got like a poop ton of love in this season so far. Like I said, Hayden Christensen is really good as Anakin when he's given the proper material to work with, and in this entire show, he was given really good material. The ending where he just kind of smiles and looks on as Ahsoka, or looks on at Ahsoka, kind of knowing that, everything's okay and that he's good now and that he's kind of watching over her. It's really, really cool, man. It's like Qui-Gon Jinn, Force Ghost with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like Rey Skywalker meeting Luke and Leia at the end of Episode 9. It's just really, really good stuff. And it was a really touching, awesome way to end this amazing show. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is still my favorite, and then this would have to go second in terms of live-action shows. But again, hope you guys enjoyed my review of all 8 of these episodes. I know it's been a while. I try to give them at least a few days to a week after each episode, or after the second episode of the thing, so I could actually, get them out there and not go too fast, because I don't want people, oh, you ruined it for me, I wanted to give you guys enough time. Again, sorry for if I did spoil it, but hey, I warned you guys plenty of times. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Ahsoka. I think it's a really great show. If I were to review the whole, Episode 9 would probably get, Episode 7 would probably get a 9, and Episode 8 would get a 10. Obviously, I thought Episode 10 was really, really good. Did a lot of fun things, and it ended in a really heartwarming way. If I were to give a rating to the entire Ahsoka TV show so far, honestly, man, it's probably going to be like a 9.5 for me. It's really close to being a 10. It's a fantastic show. It really does everything you want. You know what I mean? I love the character of Ahsoka Tano. I have since the 2008 Clone Wars movie came out. I saw it in theaters with my family. It's freaking awesome. I still love that movie. I don't know why people don't like that. The Clone Wars animated movie is literally better than any of the prequel trilogy movies. I'm just saying. But anyway, I do love all of Star Wars, and I'm very glad we got this show. I do want to see more sequel content going up here soon. I know we're getting the Rey Skywalker movie and all that, but some really good things about this Ahsoka show is that it did lead up to the sequels. I know all the fake fans and losers on the internet are going to tell you it doesn't, but this show ever since Mandalorian Season 1, basically everything that happens before Episode 7 leads up to Episode 7. I mean, that sounds like common sense, but, you get like, oh, is the Emperor dead? And then Sabine's like, oh, that's what we hear. Or you see Kaz's dad, who Kaz is only in the sequel show. There's a lot of really good things in this show, in this season, that really kind of build towards the sequels. Mandalorian did that too, Book of Boba Fett. Every show kind of did that, Bad Batch even. But I really thought it was cool to see that sequel connection there as well. Really good stuff, man. Really great show. I love Ahsoka as a character, and I think Rosario Dawson did a pretty good job. She's probably the worst actor out of all of it. I feel weird saying that, but I don't know. For a lot of it, again, like I said, I think my biggest issue with this is just a few episodes of pacing, or a few instances of pacing, and then just Ahsoka kind of just being like this the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, she also, I know, like I said in one of my other reviews, I know she's not supposed to be goofy, jokey, stupid, Sky Guy, she's not 8 anymore or whatever, 14. But at the same time, I do think they made her a little too serious for her own good, but she does crack some jokes, and whenever she smiles, I'm like, wow, she's a human, or Torgruta, or whatever, you get what I mean. Anyway, that being said, that's really, really, why I didn't give it a, perfect score and all that, but I have a few issues here or there with this show, but I really do enjoy it. Again, all Star Wars is good, doesn't mean I think it's all perfect, but I don't hate any of it, and I really, really like to, add this to my Star Wars collection one day. I'm very glad that this, even happened. You know what I mean? Thankfully, Dave Filoni did a great job with this. He did a great job creating the character and, bringing it, reflective toward the sequels and just paying homage to what we got before. I mean, it's a really great show, man. Perfect continuation to Rebels. This is basically Rebels Season 5, just without Zeb, of course. But really good stuff, man. Hope you enjoyed my reviews. Tell me in the comments down below what you think. I cannot wait to do more Star Wars content, and we're going to be doing a lot more LEGO Star Wars 2 gameplay and some more fun stuff with gameplay and unboxings and all that fun stuff. But whenever the next Star Wars show comes out, might be Bad Batch, Season 3, or maybe Skeleton Crew, whatever it is, I'll be covering it, and I cannot wait to cover more awesome Star Wars content for you guys. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.